Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be explaining to you guys your computer workstation. Everybody should know how to use their computer workstation when they come into class. It doesn't really matter what class you take with me, but every single class you take with me, the first thing you should do when you get into class is you should log into your computer. So you should walk in and get logged into your computer. Couple things that I'm going to talk about is one, how to turn your computer on, how to troubleshoot your computer, and all the different things that your computer can do. So let's take a look at the back. Alright, first off, these computers are called nukes, and they all have the monitor, the picture, or the screen here is called the monitor, and then the computer is actually what is on the back. It is strapped onto the back of all of these things. It's got a sticker on it that looks like this, but it's actually called the nuke. So it's not a standard computer tower, and you can see that everything gets plugged in if I'm looking at the front of the screen on the left side of the nuke. So before I even get into that, for my TV studio kids, what you need to know is that you guys have these SD cards. The SD cards are what saves our videos save on. The nice thing about these nukes is all nukes have a standard SD card reader right on the top. So I could take this SD card and I could insert it with the picture, if I'm looking at the front of the monitor, with the label on the SD card facing out. It goes straight in just like this, and now I'm able to access on my computer what is on that SD card. So that is one really nice thing for TV Studio about these nukes. Additionally, let's talk about on the right side of this nuke. So on the side here, this is your power button. Your power button is on the very bottom. So the side that does not have cables plugged into it has the power button. So if I push the power button, I should see the blue light come on. If you come in and your computer is not on, the first thing you should do is check, is your power button pushed? This is your power button. Now there's a power button for the monitor as well. It is on the back here at the bottom button right here. So this turns the screen on, and then this right here turns the computer on. Right above that, we actually have a spot for a headset. All of the computer stations now have these awesome set of headphones. The headphones are great, especially for my TV Studio students, but also my Digital Essential students, if they have to watch a video in class or if they need to listen to music or something while they work, which is fine. So headphone jack is right here. Right above that is your USB port, and then above that is your Type-C port. So you could actually plug in Type-C, essentially, which a lot of you guys probably won't ever actually use that in this class, and that's perfectly fine. And then next, on the other side, now this is the important stuff right here. On the top thing that's plugged in, this is what's called an HDMI cable. It's amazing to me how many students don't know what an HDMI cable is. An HDMI cable looks like this. All the HDMI cable does is it brings video. It is what transfers video, an image to your screen. So this gets plugged into the back of the nuke, which is the computer, this guy right here in the very top, and then it also gets plugged into the monitor in HDMI slot number 1. So the monitor has HDMI slots down here. It would get plugged into HDMI slot 1, and it would also go into the nuke. So if you turn on your computer, the blue light on this side of the nuke is on, but you're not getting an image, the first thing I would look at is, well, is my HDMI cable plugged into the nuke and to the monitor? If it is, then you should be getting an image, assuming your monitor and your nuke are on, and you're on the right input. The only other thing that gets plugged into the monitor is there is a power cable here. So if you're not getting anything at all, it's not powering on, you need to make sure your power cable is obviously plugged into here and then plugged into the wall. That's very important. Right below where your HDMI cable are, there's two USBs. Guys, USB looks like this. Looks like this. Your USB is your mouse and your keyboard. So you have a USB mouse and keyboard at your computer workstation. If one of those are not working, I would make sure that it's plugged in. Also, for my TV Studio students, sometimes I have people take a mouse to use one of the laptops. If you do so, make sure that you return your mouse every single day at the end of the hour. Do not just leave it sitting around somewhere. Below that, if you log into your computer and you do not have internet, it's more than likely because your Ethernet cable has come unplugged. Your Ethernet cable, which looks like this, is what brings your internet, your network connection to your computer. If this is not plugged into the back, then you will not have internet. So before you come to me and say, Mr. T, I don't have internet, you should check, is your Ethernet cable plugged in? And if it's plugged in, then you also need to follow it and see if it is plugged into the wall. I'll show you in just a second what that wall outlet looks like. The Ethernet cable that is plugged into the back of your computer, it goes somewhere into the wall in this room into a receptacle. And essentially what this receptacle does is it connects back to the switch. All the computers are connected to the same switch in my office, and then that is where the internet comes from. So that's the wired connection in class, and then obviously all that's plugged in right here in this is the monitor and the nuke. So your monitor and your computer are both plugged into the wall, giving them power. And then the bottom thing on here is going to be your power supply. So your power supply is what's plugged in on the bottom. It plugs into the nuke, and then it plugs into the wall. That takes care of everything at your computer workstation. The other thing you need to know is at the end of each hour, you need to push your chair in. You need to take your headphones and wind them back up. Let me zoom this out here. You need to wind them back up. How do you wind your headphones up? You wind them up just like this. And then you take the cable after you've wound it, and you just tuck it into the cables that you've gotten. And now look at this. Your headphones are good to go. I always tell everybody to put them back on the tray like so when you are done, and your tray can go on your desk. Just leave your area tidy for the next person that comes in. That's how we keep our things nice in class. But ultimately, everybody should know how to troubleshoot their own computer if, for some reason, they come in and it's not working. Make sure everything is plugged in, and you should be good to go.